Hello. It's been a hot minute since I've come on here and had a chat to you guys. So I thought it's about time that I rock up in my PJs. No, actually, these are my pottery clothes. They used to be PJs, but they were too cute to chuck. So now they're my work clothes, my uniform, my thing. So I thought I have a lot on and obviously I'm procrastinating. And so I thought, I'll do this instead and chat to you guys so I can procrastinate some more. But I have been very busy for the last 6-ish months, probably more, just putting this space together the way it kind of works for me. And I thought, it would be good to show you guys what I'm doing, or how I'm doing it. So I don't have a stabilizer, so it's going to be a shaky one, but stay with me and I will take you around and show you like the flow. It's a very small space, so it's a shed, as you know, that I call TARDIS, as you know, but it's it's a little over a half a shed because I'm slowly like pushing out. So you're currently on some shelves and I'm slowly pushing it to get more space, and it's great. And eventually I may steal the entire shed, but that's just between you and me. Yes. Okay, so come along as I take you around. Okay, so yeah, a very small space and just the workflow, how I work every day in this cold. Can you see my heater? That was my Mother's Day present. I mean, practical and like not hideous. It's great. So and it means that I can work during winter. So I'm very, very, very grateful for it. Okay, come along. Hi again. Okay, so we're walking in and we start with clay and an extruder. I mean, this isn't part of workflow, but like I like the extruder there because, well, that's the only space for it. And as you can see, I don't have it on a, like on a wall like you're supposed to. It's just jigged up in a weird way, but it really works. And while I do like making handles by hand, it looks a bit weird and it kind of freaks me out a little bit. So I actually prefer the extruder of late, and it's been working a treat. So some more clay, some old clay. You can see me trying to block out the, the sheddy part with some curtains. That was my husband's idea. It was very clever. And then we're just going to pan up packing stuff, my babies. And there's no water. There's electricity, thankfully, but there's no water to the shed. So this was a tap from good old Kmart, a camping, those camping massive jug things are just with a tap in it. And then this was thrifted from a little, well, it's not a little actually, it's a massive shop that I found, and I was like, I have to have that. So one day when I have water, this sink will be the sink, and some random dead plants, never mind. And then up here we've got tools and such, some work in progress. I have been obsessed with these buckets. They're from Bunnings, and they really keep the moisture in. So you don't, how a lot of potters, they put like plaster in bins and then they make sure that the pieces don't dry out. You don't really need the plaster. You just kind of put it in there and it just, can you see all the condensation in here? It's quite incredible. Excuse that. And then I have my tool wall. I'm really proud of it. And test tiles. I'm really, really proud of the way that turned out. And some dead and dying plants up there. Ignore that. And random things that made it out of the house. And then I was like, well, I could use it as a hump mold or some slump mold. So I just keep I just keep stuff, you know, potters can't get things. Test tiles that I was working on, and I just hung them, so I kind of have them in like color, not really coordinated, but yeah, kind of, I guess. And then I'm just going to keep continuing on with this side, and then I'll turn you back around. Some things that are drying. So once I make it, it goes into those boxes, these boxes. And then once I've finished it or am finishing, it kind of sits on these. And this is plasterboards. So again, up until this point, I have bought some plaster since, but I don't really like to use plaster in the studio because I know once it goes in the kiln, it could be disastrous. And this is my new little jiggity that I've been using and loving, right? So I'm not going to do it because I'm going to try to do it, and then these are commissioned, so like I don't want to stuff it up. But I put the pots on top, and then I stamp. You know, you get like sometimes really weird indentations and stuff when you're trying to stamp your work. So this, I put a sponge on top sometimes, and this is what is it, like a grinder thing? Anyway, it's been working a treat. Some finished work from workshops, some things that are drying from workshops, commissions, work in progress, and then spinning around my sign. And then this, I'm a little bit, ignore the mess, but, oh, hello. This table has been wonderful. It's been like, probably majority of the time I work at this table, and it's quite high. So I've got like a stool that I can stand on because it's on casters, you see. And everything, like in my opinion, everything in the studio, if you can put it on casters, put it on casters, because why not? And it's got beautiful natural light, which I love. I can see, you can't really today because it's quite cloudy, but you can see the mountains out there. And then I use this, it's just paint drop sheet. And I use that like if I'm doing any kind of photography work on this bench, like you've got a natural background, like you don't have to fluff around too much. And then all my tools. And then down here, I've got, so these are seed cloches, but I use them, I haven't used it for a long time, but I used to use them, and I'm going to again now that I've remembered that they're there. So when I didn't have the boxes, I used to use that to, you know, keep things workable still, and that worked a treat too. Stamps and such. I use tiles. So I made a long time ago a little short video about me using tiles, and this is what I throw on, which I know some people would be like, well, that's really impractical and dangerous. And yeah, true, but it works. It works really well. I just have a batmate under here, and then it just sticks to the wheel. And I don't have a bat system as such. I just use a 20 centimeter by 20 centimeter tile. You just have to make sure it's one of the outdoor tiles. So it's hello, hi, yeah, it's, outdoor tiles, because it doesn't have the like really shiny clear, well, not clear, but shiny glaze on it. So that really messes with your work, but generally things come off that quite easily. And then these are plate chargers or place mats from Kmart. Yes, another Kmart find. And I use them as bats as well. So again, just batmate underneath, and then it just sticks to the wheel for bigger pieces like plates and stuff, or bigger bowls, or for workshops as well. They're great. Like I just get participants to work on them, and then it doesn't necessarily, you know, need a lot for the pieces to come off. It comes off quite easily. And then buckets down here, there's like reclaim buckets. There's also wedged up clay that have been reclaimed and has been wedged up. ready to go. So I've got them labelled. I just don't know what they are currently. Never mind. So going back. So this is the glaze cabinet. This is my trusty scale. I highly recommend, not when you're making glazes and stuff, because you do need like precise measurements, but when you're doing, like measuring out clay, I do recommend one of these guys rather than a digital one, because like the amount of time I used to use a digital one, the amount of times like, oh, it's out of battery. Okay, I'll just guess, I guess. So lots of brush on glazes. I use Amico because it's tried and tested and it just works. The combinations work out really well, but I am actually trying a few other brands as well. Yeah. And then this is it's very dusty. Like one day it will be pristine, but not today. Spice rack. And I didn't vibe with it. Like in my kitchen, but I thought, oh, look at this. How perfectly does that fit? So, I've got room for more. Not that I need more, but anyway. And then spinning around, this is my garden seed. I had all these great intentions. I'm going to raise all the seeds. It didn't happen. But it is a really good drying rack. And again, like if you flip that guy down, it keeps things nice and, I don't want to say the word, nice and workable, while you're thinking about what else to do. A little trolley, every I think artist studio needs a little trolley with bits and bobs. So some tools that I couldn't put on my tool wall, but I do use for hand building a lot of the time. So because the tables are right behind me, it's really handy dandy to have tools like these. The ones I use like a lot are on the table, and then stamps and stuff down there, and then forks. Hello forks, my beautiful forks. Oh, I'm so thankful for artwork masterpiece from my babies, and then like kiln furniture. Like it's pretty poor, but it just leans against there. Oh yeah, so the kiln is on casters as well, because I'm like, one day, sorry, that's my dog. Oh gosh. Anyway, one day if I build another studio somewhere else, or if I move or whatever, like I want to be able to take my kiln without too much struggle or someone dropping it, or anyway. So that, and then I just use another little caddy for the shell, the furnitures, because it doesn't need to be fancy, does it? Then going across this random blanket that you see, it's just kind of like when you're coming through the shed, I kind of wanted to separate and divide spaces. And also this massive orange, like, who needs to see that? No one needs to see it. So I've just done that to hide it away. See, with random things in it. Water bottles, I'm not a fan of plastic water bottles, but it's kind of necessary. Like if I'm mixing up glazes and stuff, I've got well water, so I don't really want to be putting in like all those minerals and stuff in the glaze, because it could mess with it. So I have to use bottled water, which is unfortunate, but maybe one day I will find a solution. And then a cozy little spot to show you the wheel space. So I really love, like, I know it's kind of in the middle of the room, but I really love that it is, and it's a setup that I don't have to mess around with. It's a little bit, well, I don't know if it's really different to other potters, but I have, the wheel, obviously. I think it's a must if you are a potter that you have to have the IKEA mirror, so I have that. I have throwing water down here. And then I found this like it was just under a pile of, like, it wasn't, I bought it because I'm short and I need like a boost to get to anything. But then I'm like, well, I have so many other random ladders and stuff. I'm going to use this for this purpose, and it works such a treat. I have wedged and weighed and wedged bits in there. That bucket there is water as well, but it's not throwing water. It's like tool washing, hand washing water. And I have to clean those. Oh my God, I forgot about them. But yeah, it's handy to have. And often I will put hot water in there, and it's so pleasant. Like, you know, you're doing all this throwing, and then you just, you know, you're like, oh my God, I can't feel my fingers. I just need a. So that's a new thing that I introduced this season, and I'm very, very, very happy with it. And then just some tools that I don't actually use all of that tools, but I have it there just in case. This is, I obviously didn't clean up last week, but this is kind of what I use. So I use obviously the tiles. So I have a stack of tiles. I use this to lift up the tiles, ribs, foot ring thing, a chamois, wire cutter, and this is my favorite tool of all time, I think. This is just to get the excess off the bottom as you're throwing. Oh, pin tool. Yeah. So, and then obviously seat. And then this one, I made mention in one of my latest posts about this. It's a shoe rack, but I tried to get one that holds a fair bit of weight because it's quite long. So I think I can put 4 or 5 on each shelf, and they're quite, like, they're tall enough where like a mug would easily fit on them. And so yeah, I can get a fair bit on there without having to, you know, throw a piece and then go put it, like, this is kind of got a mess here, but usually it's empty. So usually I would go put it there and then, you know, back again. Like, it interrupts the flow, I find, when I'm throwing. So if I have this next to me, I can just, I wish it was on casters, but it's not. So that's, yeah, but it works really, really well. I've been very happy with it. And then this, I am so grateful for this piece of furniture. It used to be in my house, and I bought it at a very, like, when I was very young. So it's darker than what I would usually choose now, but it's such a good piece and solid wood. So I couldn't, again, get rid of it. So I just thought, well, why not? Like, I don't have space for, you know, a gallery or anything like that. So this kind of works as a gallery, and it's a nice, like, spot you can rest your eyes, especially for people that are visiting. And then this is the table. Like, it looks pretty dirty because I've been reclaiming on there, so it looks gross. But that is what it's like working with red clay. And so I have a few more seats. So I probably, like, workshops have about 4 probably is my max in this space. And then if I get more, then I set up, not in winter, but I set up in the garden, and it's always really nice and relaxing. But yeah, so this is the space, and I'm really proud of it, and I'm very happy with it. One thing I didn't show you, and I will show you, is Sybil. Sybil, where are you? Sybil is under here. Just because I get so much sun, I have it covered. So Sybil, the slab roller, she, you know, life would be very different without her, I think. Like, yeah, she makes a huge difference in my life, and I'd be lost without her. Oh. So yeah, I love it, and this is my studio, and I am very grateful for it, and it works So yeah, you don't need a lot of space. You just need to be somewhat organized and just romance the ordinary, I guess. Yeah. So yes, so that is the studio. I hope you had a lovely time having a little peek inside my space, where, you know, it's messy and it's creative, and I don't know, it's my happy place, I guess, which is, I know, such a cliche, but that's what it is. It's like, whether it's, you know, freezing cold or boiling hot, I come in here and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful that I get to do this as my living, you know. So yeah, and thanks for coming along for the journey. I really appreciate you all. See you soon. Bye.